father's induction. God bless.
Bob's beloved wife, Mona, sitting here in the front row with his family. In 1975, my mom and dad moved from a house next to the Sky High Drive-In into the house on the corner right one block down across the street from the park where they still live today. From time to time, the aging retired couple across the street would ask my brother and I to come carry something out of their basement or move something in the garden for them. We would never accept any money, although he always offered. Instead, he insisted that we accept an 8-ounce Miller High Life beer, for which we gladly accepted. My brother and I were 14 and 15. That neighbor, Fred and Gladys Lortz. That's right, Dale Lortz's dad and mom, two of the nicest people you've ever met. Likely never broke a law in their life, but they contributed to the delinquency of minors. When I got older, certainly not yet 21, but maybe, just maybe on occasion, I'm sure none of you ever did, looking for somebody to buy you beer. It only slightly crossed my mind. I was probably Tom Frankie when we were doing that. It only slightly crossed my mind, hey, let's go see if Fred needs anything moved. After I returned to Plainview in 2016 and started to discuss a Hall of Fame honor to honor former PHS greats, I heard as much about the influence of Dale Lortz in the 50s and 60s than just about anybody else. Certainly a Hall of Fame from everybody that spoke with me. A Hall of Fame work ethic and a Hall of Fame character. Dale, would you please come forward? Dale Stub Lortz had a nose for the football. He led the Pirates in tackles as a sophomore and senior while leading the Pirates his final year to a 7-2 record, giving up on average just 1 touchdown a game. He was also very successful on the court, leading the Pirate basketball team in scoring as a junior with nearly twice as many points as his closest teammate. Dale led the American Legion midget team to a state title the summer of his junior year. Dale attended Colorado State College on a football and baseball scholarship, later transferred to the University of Omaha, which is UNO, where he eventually was named to the all-tournament team of the NAIA College World Series. He helped design the current ball fields when they had to be moved to build the elementary school, and later had a brief coaching career at Plainview High School from 1968 to 1970. It is a great honor to welcome Dale Stub Lortz from the class of 1963 into the Plainview High School Hall of Fame.
I really like Darren, and my mom gets out of prison in a year. I am very humbled with this honor, and there are a lot of people in this room that are worthy of Hall of Fame, more than me, probably. But I was blessed to have wonderful coaches and wonderful teammates, which a lot of them are here now. And in fact, I even meet with some of those people down in Lincoln and Hy-Vee and have coffee on Tuesdays. There's a lot of lying going on, I tell you. But I have to bring this name up because of the state championship team, and Roger Miller with baseball. He taught me a lot. He really did. And those people up here, they were who I looked up to. So that helped, having that kind of atmosphere. Also, with Bruce, he was talking about Hill's Drugstore. Well, he aged me quite a bit because we could get a marshmallow Coke for a dime. And he paid a quarter. And Rod Basler always wanted to go get one. He always forgot his billfold. But I really appreciate this honor, and like I say, I'm quite humble and appreciate the time that was put in, and I really do. And the community of Plainview did me good. I moved in from the farm when I believe I was 4th grade. I can't remember now, I'm so old, but my parents let me play sports. My brother didn't get to. They were farmers. And so I was free to go, and I had a lot of mentors above me. We had some very good teams, and that helped a lot. But I appreciate it, and I think there are a lot more people that should have gotten this award. I'm just quite humble. But thank you very much.
So my folks moved me to town when I was 3 years old, so not a whole lot of recollection of that, but grew up here from that moment on. And one of the first great athletes that I recall hearing about as a young boy was Kevin Roach. Of all of his athletic prowess that gained local fame, there was one mythical story that was always first in my mind whenever I heard the name of Kevin Roach. I have no idea if it's true, but I've remembered it for 45 years. And maybe today, you can set the record straight on that. And it's something that it was from an event that happened on October 13th, 1973. I believe that was the day the Methodist Church burned to the ground. Don't worry, I'm not going somewhere sideways with this. As the story goes, as I recall, as a youngster, the fire was getting a bit out of control and there was fear that it could spread to the parsonage. When it looked like it was going to spread to the residents, the Roach brothers emptied the contents of the house into the street in 15 minutes. That was the story I was told. And I can tell by the look on your faces that it might have been 20 minutes. But indeed, that's what I want to believe. The Roach brothers went into action to save the contents of the parsonage, which obviously was spared by the fire. 3-year starter at quarterback for the Pirates. And of course led the Pirates to a state football title in 1973. Looks like he could still compete. Kevin went on to lead the Kearney State Lopers for several years as starting quarterback on very successful teams at Kearney. Kevin, would you please come forward? Those who watched Kevin Roach play football in the early 70s would tell you that he was the greatest quarterback that PHS ever had. He led the 1973 team to an undefeated season and the Pirates' first state football title. Kevin was also a gifted basketball player, earning all-conference honors as a sophomore and leading the team in almost all statistical categories. In track, he was a state qualifier and school record holder in the triple jump and hurdles. Kevin went on to play football for 4 years for the Kearney State Lopers following graduation from Plainview High School in 1974. It's a great honor to welcome Kevin Roach from the class of 1974 into the Plainview High School Hall of Fame.
and we'll keep it. I just want to thank the committee. I have to look at my notes, so I'll forget everything. I am getting older. For the acknowledgement and honor. I'm honored and humbled to receive this award. I'd also like to thank all my coaches. I'm not sure if any of them are here, but for all the help and support they gave me and guidance. Sometimes I need it. Our state championship football team was so unexpected because I think we were 500 as a sophomore and a junior year. Senior year, we won the first 3 games that we could beat Laurel, and we hadn't beat Laurel in 100 years. And we beat like 28 to nothing or something. And we got ranked in the Omaha paper. We never been ranked in anything around here for a while, so. Then our next game was Bloomfield, and they were 0-3. We were 3-0, we about got beat. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we got talked to afterwards by Coach Stafford. So we quit reading news clippings. And last 2 or 3 games that year, South Monroe and Coach asked us to run extra sprints so we could be more prepared for our opponents. So we're out there running until dark. We'll be running 8:20s, 8:40s, 8:60s, 8:100s. And we upped it to 10. So, yeah, that was when we were young. My success is a direct result of a bunch of great teammates, a bunch of great friends, and I remember those days like yesterday. And then I got to give some credit to my brothers, because my older brother, when we were riding in the car and I'd sit in the back seat, he made me tougher because he'd always be beating on me. And then my brother Damon, I got my speed from because I'd lip off to him and then run from him so he wouldn't beat me up. But all in all, I appreciate this award. I think of Plainview a lot, and it's always a joy to come back here. Thanks again.
If Tom Frankie's physical stature were the size of his charismatic personality, he'd be 10 feet tall. Very confident in all of his endeavors, Tom had swagger, and he could always back it up. Tom didn't play football his first couple of years, maybe because he thought he was undersized, but when he decided to put on the pads, his impact was immediate. I was a mediocre backup quarterback at best, and Tom played JV for a few games his first year out. Frankie on a chair pattern. Frankie on a chair pattern was good for 6 every time. The only TD passes I ever threw, were to Tom Frankie on a chair pattern. His senior year, teams did not want to punt to him. I don't recall what team we were playing, but they set up to punt, and I heard one of the other players say, "Frankie isn't going anywhere." Well, Tom returned the punt for a score. I remember when he was convinced that he could putt better with a 9-iron than a putter. Coach Canuck put the kibosh on that really fast. Tom was also a fantastic drummer. When I joined the band, I wanted to be in percussion section, just because that's where Tom was, and he always appeared to be having the most fun of anybody in the band. He taught me how to pose in the percussion row during the band picture for the yearbook. On this stage, it was in the school play. Tom, I believe it was your junior year, he was playing King Arthur from Camelot. I remember being amazed that he could memorize that many lines, as busy as he was playing sports, and had to memorize all these lines for this play. During one of the performances, I remember Tom lost his place, and rather than sit in silence to search for the line, he very astutely said in full character, "No, no, no, that's not right." and the line immediately came to him. You maybe don't remember that. Yeah. Funny things that we remember. I remember it very vividly. Tom, Frankie, and I were good childhood friends. So I can share a multitude of inappropriate and character-damaging stories. You've all heard of PK kids, pastors' kids. While the statute of limitations has expired, I think I'll probably just keep those details about Tom to myself, because I was probably with him and certainly just as guilty of anything inappropriate going on around the community of Plainview. I was fortunate to experience firsthand the many performances of Tom throughout high school. Tom, would you please come forward? Tom Frankie was one of the most versatile talents in Plainview High School history. Described as having fancy moves and fast feet, he possessed shifty quickness, which made him elusive on the football field and a skilled ball handler on the basketball court. In his senior year, he was voted MVP of the 9-2 Pirate football team, and he led the Pirate basketball team to an 18-1 record. Tom still holds the school record for assists in a season nearly 40 years later. Tom earned 4 varsity letters in golf and helped the Pirates earn 2 top 5 finishes at state, including runner-up trophy his senior year. Tom was also an MVP baseball player in the summertime. Those that saw Tom perform on the stage would argue that acting was his greatest talent. He was the leading character in numerous one-act plays and school musicals to this day. Tom's the only Plainview Pirate to be named Best Actor at the Nebraska State one-act competition. Tom went on to play basketball collegiately following graduation from high school in 1984. It gives me a great pleasure, it's a great honor to welcome my good friend, Tom Frankie, from the class of 1984 into the Plainview High School Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Darren. I want to, extra special, knowing that we went to school together, and we can back up some of those memories and facts about growing up. And so thank you to Darren and the committee. And I want to also publicly acknowledge, I don't know if she's here, Connie Mills. I know she's instrumental in the nomination today. And a classmate of mine, Colleen Kenny, who wrote a nice nomination letter. Who's, if there was a female equivalent to me, when I was growing up, I would say Colleen, so she's very worthy. So thank you, Colleen and Connie. And what a great honor to be here. And there's Nate, your dad and I played hoops together in Norfolk, so that the tie to the Baker family. And obviously, the Lord says, I was right around the corner. I never got any beer invitations. But the tie-in, and obviously growing up and aspiring to do the things we did. I mean, having access to the school day was awesome, and just taking a walk down memory lane, and just really, there's an expectation of excellence being a Pirate. And it didn't seem like we were achieving anything great. We were just doing what was expected and the expectation. And then obviously individual awards and recognition don't come without great teachers, great coaches, great teammates. So it really does bring me great pride to come back and reminisce and be here and just see what really the pride of being a Pirate and seeing teams honored that I looked up to, Kevin, and obviously Coach Washburn and his wife are dear to our family as members of our church. We went here, and he was kind enough to attend one of our basketball games when I was in college. That was always special to me, knowing that you still kept in touch and followed my career. So, again, thank you. It's a great honor. Especially, I mean, I'm a Frankie. We don't have roots here. My dad was a pastor here, so typically pastors come, and they come and they go. But he stayed. I was able to grow up here, be influenced, meet my wife, my family. feel like this is my home. And Plainview, Frankies are part of Plainview, so it's a great honor knowing that being recognized and forever being a Pirate and Hall of Famer. So I'll dedicate this to my family. And it's also special to have, I got all my kids here, my wife and my in-laws, so they get to see that the stories we told aren't just stories. It's like, hey, it's legacy, it's real. It did happen. We didn't have TikTok, Snapchat, but I got a plaque on the wall, you know. So, thank you.
Thank God we didn't have those things, Tom. Because had we'd have certainly got ourselves in plenty of trouble. If you were around Plainview High School activities during the 1990s, you know that it was dominated by the Berniker girls. It was all about them, but today, it's all about Sarah. A highly competitive spirit, and was just old school in working hard to get better every day, especially as a teammate. Sarah was a three-sport star all 4 years of high school. I'd like to think if Plainview High School had a swimming team, she would have dominated that sport too, because I think I taught her swimming lessons in 1986. Sarah, would you please come forward? Sarah Berniker burst onto the athletic scene as a freshman, contributing to the volleyball and basketball teams and qualifying for the state track meet. In her sophomore season, she earned all conference honors in basketball and earned 2 medals at the state track meet. By her senior year, she was leading the Lady Pirates in kills in volleyball, rebounds in basketball, and running at the state track meet for the 4th time. She finished her Plainview High School career as the all-time leading scorer in girls basketball. It's a great honor to welcome Sarah Berniker Goebbels from the class of 1995 into the Plainview High School Hall of Fame.
What a gift, what a gift. Thank you. Thank you for all who made this event happen today. And thank you for this honor. I am grateful and most humbled. Unlike a said brother-in-law of mine who lives in Plainview, I remember no scores, no win-loss records, no best games. I quite frankly don't remember any of that. But I do remember a lot. I remember Steve White being willing to stay after practice for however long for us who wanted to keep shooting. I remember Brent Moeller working and working to make sure our handoffs were the best they could be. I remember Ray Dorr and Larry Knock at, well, everything, doing everything they did well. But if you go even further back, it's the Janice Warnickes and the Eileen Gramers of the elementary world that forever etch encouragement and support on a young person. I remember the fans and the unwavering support from the community. So many people make Plainview to be Plainview. It's people investing in people. 2 weeks ago, my mom, as Darren said, closed the preschool door for the last time after teaching the littlest of this school for 29 years. A beautiful example again, people investing in people. I have the good fortune of having my husband and all 6 of our children and 2 of their significant others with us, with me today, to see just another taste of the blessings of this community. They love to come here. For the frisbee golf, for the basketball pickup games with cousins and aunts and uncles, and for my parents. I am grateful our kids have had a small lens into the world of my growing up. They are blessed to witness my parents' undying selflessness, their constant encouragement, and their authentic witness to faith and love. I thank them, I thank the educators here at this school then and now, and the community of Plainview. Go Pirates!
I believe the first Lakeview High School football game that I attended was in Fremont. At Midland College, the 1975 state championship game against Bishop Newman of Wahoo. When the fall of '75 came around, the senior football players knew, I believe, that they were something special. They were hardened 2 years earlier as sophomores when Coach Stafford's championship '73 team beat the heck out of them in practice every day. When they were ready to start their senior year, they found themselves with all new coaches and a #1 ranked preseason pressure to go with it. Coach Tassemeyer, who couldn't be with us today, shared with me just a little story. He and Coach Mick and Coach Washburn, head Coach Washburn, it was the day of the first game of the year, and Tass tells me that he said to Coach Mick, "We have 10 offensive plays and we're about 150 across the defensive line. We're going to get our ass kicked." Well, of course they didn't. They won that game and every game thereafter. I would like to invite the members of the 1975 State Football Championship team to please come to the stage. While they're doing that, let's have a little debate over which team was greater. If the '73 team were to beat the '75 team, we have Bungie and Roach and who else? Is that it for the '73? Thank you. It's been reported. They probably told you that then and still telling you that today. Gentlemen, I would like you, if you would please, to introduce yourself. Coach Washburn, what are you doing? Come here, sir. If you would please introduce yourself and the year that you graduated from Plainview High School.
Hugh McCready, Gordon Rasmussen, Mike Krieger,
Doug Miller, 76.
Gary Krieger, 78,
Jerry Krieger. Mike Rodney.
Mitch Holmes, Tom Brown,
Dave Hamilton.
Warren Washburn. Good. I get to say a few words. It's kind of like that old cow one morning said to the Pierce County farmer, "Thanks for the warm hand." Now, also, the players asked before if the superintendent could have them stand up. They needed to adjust their shorts, and so we said, okay, get them up here. I see a lot of different ages out there, and I just have one warning for you. Don't ever ask an old coach to get up and talk, unless you say there's going to be a bell in 3 minutes. But what I'd like to say is, I am very thankful that I was hired back in '75 to be the head football coach and a business teacher and girls track coach. I'm very thankful for the 2 assistants that worked with me and did a great job, Mick and Don Tassemeyer, not here. I'm thankful for all those guys that showed up for football, and I've been head coach 26 years, and they're the only team that when we go and start a little pep talking and exercising, they get fired up. Now, I don't know if Coach Stafford introduced them to that, but I never had a team do it. That kind of fired me up too. And I'm thankful for the first time we practiced defense, and the B team ran a play against our defense. I blew the whistle and just stood there because we had 5 or 6 guys right around the ball carrier, right in line of scrimmage, and I thought, oh, maybe we're going to have a pretty good team. And lastly, I'm thankful for this honor and Plainview School started this Hall of Fame. I think it's great. And really it's great for the coaches because we all get in this business not for honors, not for money, but because we like the game and we like to work with kids and see if we can accomplish some results. Thank you.
Just like to say a couple words on behalf of our state championship team. First of all, you know, we're all up here, and one integral part of our offense and our defense. I remember the state championship game. We, I think, and I'm not sure, but I thought between Wahoo Newman and ourselves, we were like the two top scoring offenses in the state that year going into that game. Wound up 6-3, and remember, it's not here, Tim McCready. Man, he was the blood and soul that held us together. And without Tim, there's no way we would have made it where we did. He was a one-man wrecking crew, and Tim's twin brother, you know. But he was something special, and I just want to acknowledge that because he was our team. Also, I remember the first time we met Warren Washburn. He came into the school and he had tape on our team from the year before, because as juniors, we started, I think, 9 or 10 juniors that year, and that's the only games we ever lost, 3 games. Because when we were sophomores with Kevin and those guys, we were undefeated, and when we were freshmen, we were undefeated, I believe. But we had a pretty good run. But when Warren came to meet us, I never will forget the first thing he looked at a couple of us and he said, "Man, I thought you guys were bigger than that." And he said, "On tape, you look like I thought we had something." I think he was pretty disappointed in our small stature. And I think the motto we kept was short and mean, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what we rested our hats on, is short and mean. So the other thing I'd like to say is we don't have a lot of the juniors and sophomores that were part of the team. My 2 brothers are here, and my one brother, Jerry, started as a sophomore the last 2 games of the playoffs because Doug Miller blew his knee out. So that was the only sophomore that played, and that was quite an honor because I played tight end, and I had a brother that was a guard, Gary, and my brother Jerry is a center, so that was pretty special. But I just want to acknowledge we had a lot of practices where those guys were better than probably at least half the teams who played, you know, that made us a team, and that's what we were. So I'm really disappointed that we didn't have more of our teammates show up, but they were special. And the only other thing I wanted to say when I came in today is a couple gals met me at the door and they said, "And you are?" And one of the gals says, "Oh, that's Kevin Roach." And I said, "Well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment." So that was, I'd never been called Kevin. He did tell me when I was a freshman, somebody thought I was his little brother though, so for what it's worth. I just didn't have quite the athleticism Kevin did. But on behalf of the committee, we'd like to thank everyone for our support and for nominating us to the Hall of Fame. It's a pretty cool deal. Thank you.
One last thing, when at the end of that season, I was awarded this victory bell, carried it around all the towns I've been at, and I thought it's time to donate it back to the high school and then to its home, not my home. Thank you.
The undefeated 1975 Pirate football team proved that defense wins championships. They gave up an average of just 7 points per game throughout the season and limited the prolific wishbone offense of Wahoo Newman to just a field goal in the championship game. The senior-dominated 75 team was prolific in scoring as well by putting up 32 points per game to finish the season 11-0 while earning the first football state title through the state's playoff format. It's a great honor to welcome Coach Warren Washburn's 1975 championship football team into the Plainview High School Hall of Fame. I would like all new inductees after the ceremony today to please, through this door, is the Hall of Fame wall. Need to get pictures right afterwards. If you would please join me there right afterwards. We have nomination forms. We have nomination forms for the Hall of Fame that are in the lobby area. If there's somebody that you want, that you believe is deserving of recognition. So please pass those things along to me or simply email me. I'll do the work. But we want to make sure that we continue to honor those great Plainview Pirate athletes and performers with Hall of Fame induction. If you are also interested in any other way to make a contribution back to your alma mater, we had to pass the hat. The Hall of Fame has certain expenses. If that's something that you'd like to help underwrite, that would be terrific. If you make your way to the Pirate Gym, the big gym, we've got a new score vision in there. We've had some families that have contributed to that in memory or honor of their parents who are deceased. So we would certainly honor your family members with that. We have a Forever Pirates, and I'd love to hear Tom mention Forever Pirates because we have an alumni golf event that happens the first Saturday of August. That's called the Forever Pirates Memorial Golf Scramble. And we recognize all Plainview Pirate alum who have passed away in the previous year. Pastor Joan leads us in prayer. We read the names of all Plainview Pirate alum who passed away in the last year, and they have a garden flag that is on the first tee. And so we have expenses for that. If you'd like to sponsor a hole maybe for that in honor of a classmate or a family member, we can certainly help you with that as well. Okay? And at this time, I will turn it over to Pastor Joan.
Before we finish with the school song, I just wanted to say that the committee members, there's 4 or 5 of us, Diane Fromm, Corinne Janovic, Brooke Curtis, Dr. Arlt, Ann Weber, we're all getting a little older. So if anybody knows of anybody that would like to help us, or if you have children that graduated from Plainview and would like to help us, we'd be thrilled. I have one more story, but I think Bob has a story to tell, right, Bob?
This has to go to the 1975 football team. That was my first year starting in Nebraska. There was a sports director down there in 10-11 named Mark Allman. And I said, Mark, that Plainview team's supposed to be pretty good this year. If you get the score and kind of let me know. So what he did every Friday night was he announced it on his sports TV show. And he'd say, Bob, Big Bob, they won again today. And give that announcement. And you can't believe the pride that gives an old Plainview grad to have that sportsman giving you guys credit. And I think we won the first 10 games, but they'd already won state, so they won it. But thank you guys, that was spot on.
Well, I'm going to go away with, I'm not going to do my story. That was a better story. We always take pictures. Sean is here. I would like to use both bleachers. And if you're having a special year, even if you want an individual picture, but please meet us here. We'll do it as quickly as possible. But we'll get 2 bleachers going. So like and I don't know what the 50-year class, if you had him out there last night, maybe you don't want yours this year, or you do. Go to the bleachers and we'll get you set up. 55, 60, so do that now. All right, and thank you for everybody that came, and also thank you to Mary's. That was a wonderful meal. Thank you. So Wanda is going to lead us in the school song.